Well, get on me old booties. So, it's here! Woo! Partscaster body. I'll hold it up to this camera. So I saved the filming of this until the daytime because I hoped the sunlight would show the colour better. And typically, because it's England and it's November, it is grey and horrible weather. It's from MJT in America. MJT, I think it's Mark Jenny. He does like aged nitro finishes. Every day they're launching off a couple of strap bodies, a couple of telly bodies, different colours, different woods, different weights, and then if you keep an eye on them, you can find a bargain. So this was 220 or 230 pounds for the body. You could get one for about I saw one go as cheap as 180, and it was placid blue, which is a lovely colour. Really gutted that I missed that one. I paid 70 quid import tax on this, which was a bit of a blow, but whatever, it's all cool. It's all for the fun and the love of the building this Partscaster. 70 quid on the import tax, 50 quid on postage, plus the thing, we're kind of looking at about 350 all in. So in today's episode, I'm going to talk a little bit about the different kind of bodies that you could get for a Partscaster, what to look for, what you might want in a Partscaster, what I was looking for in a Partscaster, and the costs associated with that. First off, I wanted a nitrocellulose finished body. So what does that mean? Basically, this paint is a nitrocellulose based paint, which is what they used back in the day in the 50s and the 60s. Now, it ages a lot quicker, it's much thinner. This particular spray is very thin. And what that means is that it will age much quicker, so it will chip much easier, the lacquer will check quicker, and so on and so forth. Now, if you want a vintage looking instrument, or you want your instrument to age quickly, not a problem. That's actually a desirable quality that we're looking for in the guitar. Now, if you want your shiny, brand new like PRS to not age quickly, you don't want it finished in a super thin skin nitrocellulose finish. But say like a high-end guitar with like a, one of those kind of furniture looking guitars, they're going to have like a much more protective finish on it because they don't want, literally if I just took my nails and cracked them on this top, it would chip it. And you wouldn't want that happening on a £3,000 PRS. I wanted a nitrocellulose finished body. Now typically these are harder to find and they're more expensive because... Not because the paint's more expensive, but just because the people who manufacture them know that there is a more high-end market associated with the nitrocellulose paints, and therefore there's a premium on the price. So obviously what you could do, if you had the space, you can just buy the paint, no problem, and you could spray the body yourself if you trusted yourself with a spray can, etc. So the cheapest route to go if you want a nitrocellulose body is probably buy a blank and spray it yourself. That's the cheapest way to get a nitro finish. Failing that, if you've basically got one of these cheaper ones on eBay, that's the better option. There are guys in the UK who do the nitrocellulose finishing, and for the next build, assuming this goes forwards, which it will, I think the next body I'm going to get is going to be from Rexter Guitars, who's a guy I've been chatting to about refinishing the Jazzmaster. And if you're watching this because you saw the Jazzmaster video, I know a load of you subbed from the Jazzmaster video. Thanks so much. The Jazzmaster, is currently with my tech, Pedro. And so he's super busy, so he's behind like 2 or 3 weeks. So she's there. She's going to be put back together, fully set up. He's going to try and get that neck playing as best as he can. So we're going to see some more. I'll do some more update videos on the Jazzmaster soon. So if you want to do a Partscaster and you weren't worried about having a nitro finished body, then you could do this build much cheaper. You could get hold of a body for virtually nothing. What I might do for a future build is actually just buy a raw body, so no finish, and stain it with a dye, and then just do a true oil finish on it. So actually I've got a true oiled finish here. So true oil is a bit of a classic in the guitar circles. It's this kind of varnish. I think it originally comes from, it's a gun stock finisher, so they use it to finish gun stocks, the handles on guns. So this is true oil. That's a true oil finish. Okay, so that is the easiest thing in the world. A 2-year-old could do it. You rub it on the neck, let it dry, and that's like, I don't know, 10 coats or something. If you want one of those like If you just want to seal the neck and just have those super light finish, just put 1 or 2 layers of true oil, buff it back a bit, and you'll get a beautiful finish. So you could literally just get a plain body, stain it with a dye, so that'd be dead easy. Just get a wash and stain the guitar, nowhere near as difficult as spraying, and then put a few coats of true oil over the top, and you'd have a really lovely, super thin finish. Obviously it's not going to be nitro or like period correct Fender colour, but you could have a really nice finish for very cheap. So in this week's polls on Instagram, we did a poll on if you wanted vintage or modern sounding pickups, and you all voted for vintage, which I'm very happy about, because I think sort of more modern voiced pickups would be a bit out of place on this guitar. That doesn't mean we're going to go super vintage. We can go for like a more 60s sound, or like a sort of like a fatter vintage kind of vibe, okay? So I decided with pickups, I'm going to go for Tone Rider pickups, and I'm sure some of the boutique pickup snobs might be turning up their noses a little bit now. It's not like Tone Rider or cheapo pickups either. They're fully spec'd in the UK, so it's a UK company brand. Basically, they have their own manufacturing. I think it's in China, but it's their own plant. And it's all operated to super high tolerances, best magnets, best coil, cable. Just the manufacturing process is a lot cheaper. So I have no problem with boutique pickups supporting small independent makers, and I think it's great. And I would urge all of you to go out and buy nice hand wound pickups from small makers if you can afford to, and you have the facility to support these small businesses. Do it, please do. But what I'm saying is, for me, we spent a lot of money on some of the parts, and I'm doing this for fun for everyone. This isn't, I'm not keeping this guitar. I'm going to raffle it off. I want to do more of them. So I thought a good way that I can keep costs down a little bit is to buy these Tone Rider pickups. I can support this British company. And in my view, I think the pickups sound really fucking great, but they don't cost the earth. And the other thing is, a lot of people like to swap pickups out anyway. So this is like the most common mod, if you like, on a guitar, is to swap the pickups out. So putting the Tone Riders in is cool, because if people want to put in like a 250 quid set of Lollers or Kleins or whatever you like, bare knuckles, there's Radio Shop, there's hundreds and hundreds of pickup manufacturers out there. Go and do that. Now that we finally got the body, I thought we could actually think about the pick guard. So at the minute, the poll's still running as I record this, but I put the options, because I really wanted to have some gold hardware on this, because I think the gold and the purple is going to look really nice. So the options I gave were, I found these really nice anodized gold pick guard and a brushed brass pick guard too. So I think they'll look super nice, give it that extra like custom quirky little look to the guitar that that other Strats won't have. At the minute, while it's a dead cert, there's only an hour left on the poll, and it's way ahead. It's the brushed brass. So that's going to look really nice. So I think with the hardware, I'm just going to go gold, because I don't think we can have the brushed brass and then not have gold hardware. It's going to look a bit janky. I want to go for a Goto bridge and Goto tuners. So on the tuners, we already voted for vintage. I'm going to put a poll up on if you want to do lockers or non-lockers. I would imagine it's going to go to lock-in tuners. I might be wrong. Either way, I'll probably go with Goto for them and Goto for the bridge, because I think Goto are great. I've used their hardware before, super high quality. Made in, are they a German company or American? I'm not even sure actually, but they're high quality stuff, and they're not, the price point is good. It's not like, they're not as expensive as some of the like really sort of fancy blinged up like hip shot stuff, or Wilkinson. Some of those Wilkinson VS tremolos are quite expensive. So I think the Goto will have like a steel block, for example, so people like the steel blocks because they're supposed to be better for sustain. USA threads, etc. And then the tuning pegs, we want a vintage style, but the option of locking or not. So it's going to be Goto or maybe Clusen or someone like that. Starting to rattle along now. Next should be with me next week. This week, maybe soon. The next should be here. It's basically finished. If you've got any questions about the guitar or the build, then leave some comments below or head over to my Instagram page. I'm super active on there and always answering as many DMs as I can, pretty much all of them. Please subscribe, like, comment, notification bell, all that stuff everyone tells you to do. That would be super nice. Thanks for helping me hit 1K last week as well. You guys are fucking awesome. Super appreciate that. And if you want to keep up to date with the Pimp My Partscaster stuff, head over to my Instagram, or till next week. See you again, me old booties.